I would like to make a statement on last week's G20 Summit. Mr. Speaker, there were three key aspects to this summit. First, agreement on an action plan for growth and jobs with specific countries agreeing to do specific things in order to maximise overall growth in the world economy. Second, the G20 continued with its work to identify and remove some of the key obstacles to growth. The greatest mistake the global economy could make is a slide towards protectionism. The greatest mistake the global economy could make is a slide towards protectionism. So the G20 reaffirmed its pledge not to take protectionist action, committed again to roll back any new protectionist measures that may have arisen, and reaffirmed its determination to refrain from competitive devaluation of currencies. We also welcome the fact that Russia, the last G20 country outside the World Trade Organization, is now set to become a member of the WTO by the end of the year. Further progress was also made on cracking down on tax havens, tax evasion and a proper regulatory system for banks to make up for the woeful system that existed in so many countries, including ours, over the last decade. On development, Bill Gates gave a presentation suggesting ways of mobilising resources to help the world's poorest. This included helping some developing countries help themselves through proper systems for collecting taxes and transparent revenues for natural resources. On the financial transactions tax, I've been clear all along we are not opposed in principle to such a tax if one could be agreed at the global level. But we will not unilaterally introduce a new financial transactions tax in the UK, and neither will we support its introduction in the European Union unless it is part of a global move. Britain has introduced a bank levy, and we are meeting our global agreements on overseas aid. If other countries want to introduce new financial taxes at home, including to raise revenue for development, that is for them to decide. Let me turn finally to the problems in the Eurozone. It is clearly in our national interest for the Eurozone to sort out its problems. As the Chancellor has said, the biggest single boost to the British economy this autumn would be a lasting resolution to the Eurozone crisis. That is why Britain has been pressing the Eurozone to act, not just at the G20, but for many months. It is essential for confidence and economic stability that the IMF has the resources that it needs. So at the G20, Britain, the US, China and all the other countries round the table made clear that we are willing in principle to see an increase in IMF resources to boost global confidence. Those who propose that we walk away from the IMF, or who even oppose the increase in IMF resources agreed by the last government, are not acting responsibly or in the best interests of Britain. The government is completely focused on one objective: to help Britain weather the storm and to safeguard our economy. Because of the tough decisions this government has already taken to get to grip with our deficits, Britain has avoided the worst of this stage of the global debt crisis. Mr. Speaker, there were three key aspects to this summit. First, agreement on an action plan for growth and jobs with specific countries agreeing to do specific things in order to maximise overall growth in the world economy. On development, Bill Gates gave a presentation suggesting ways of mobilising resources to help the world's poorest. This included helping some developing countries help themselves through proper systems for collecting taxes and transparent revenues for natural resources.